That just fell through my radiator. Hello guys, this is Dear Studios and welcome to How Doctor Who Works, and this time I am looking at Fear Her. This is the penultimate episode before the finale. It's a little bit of a weird episode, not massively loved or massively liked, it just kind of exists. But today I'm going to be looking at it and I'm going to be talking about the good things about this episode. So let's get started. Let's be honest, this episode is a great idea. The idea of a kid that draws things and those things then, those drawings become real and the real version disappears. It's quite a good idea, and you know, it's very well done in that respect. As in, it has a brilliant idea. The execution is slightly off, but it's okay, because the idea is good. I mentioned this girl, and yeah, she can't really act, I'm sorry. It's just like, I find her annoying by the way that she speaks, and the way that she talks, and the way that she acts. And she just irritates me, and she's probably the worst part of this episode for me. She's the bit that really distracts me from this entire episode. Now, you may think her acting isn't bad, and it probably isn't as bad as I'm thinking it is. But it's not great, and it really, really makes me, like, think, gee, this is, I've just been taken out at the moment from, you know, from the episode because of acting in Doctor Who. You know, one of the biggest sort of shows that I would expect to have quite good acting in it, but anyway, I've got way too distracted about one point. This child acting may be redeemed by the great ending to this episode. Now, the reason that people don't like this episode as much is because the beginning and the middle is quite dull. Then you get to the end. Now the end seems to is a lot better. It's a lot better in its way it's written, in the way it's directed, and I really appreciate that. The fact that we see that, so there's like three things, no particular order. So the dad in the wardrobe starts, smacking up, and when he's smacking up and trying to escape, they calm her down really, and it causes it to escape. Whatever the thing that she has in her mouth escapes, in her mouth. The thing that she has inside of her escapes, comes out, and leaving her to be a normal child again. However, when they think that everything is safe and everything is fine and there's no problem about that, the dad is alive. He becomes real, and you don't actually see him. You don't see what he looks like in real life, but you know that, that drawing, making that drawing scary is part of what this episode thrives on. And it sort of tries to, break out with these lights and the red flashing and the loud noises and the shaking of the room and stuff. And they stop it by singing. And they, repeat that singing, and then it is over. It's like, I don't know why, but with the sound on this episode, it's slightly off for me. When I watched it, there is this sort of moments of very, very low noise. So, for example, moments when very little happens in the way of loud noises going on, and there's moments when it reaches its peak again and it's, blowing you away and it's way too loud, so I'm trying to find the remote to whack it back down again. But the third ending is the torch stuff. So, once Chloe Webber, the thing inside of her, goes home and it's thrown into the torch, and it's a pretty successful, and that actually causes her to escape, doesn't it? But escape out of her body. But there's this moment when they're running, when this, the man holding the torch falls, and then and then the Doctor picks it up and starts running, and this sort of, especially when I was a kid, I liked it more when I was a kid, because when I was a kid I was sitting there and I was just like, the Doctor's gone? Where's the Doctor? And then he picks up that torch and I'm sitting there like this. Yeah, so I really love that. And I love the ending to this episode. The message to this episode is that a good ending can make an episode. A good idea and a good ending, a good plot, a good everything, really, everything to do with story has to be good. But an ending is very important in the way that if your ending isn't very good, as in like it's rushed or it doesn't make sense or anything like that, it can completely ruin an episode. Like Smile, for example, in Series 10. But yeah, that is it. So thank you guys for watching. This has been the AJ Studios. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you give it a like, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.